One of the best things that might have happened in Tennessee baseball this year was to get put out in the Super Regionals. One of the worst things that might have happened for the rest of college baseball this year was Tennessee got put out in the Super Regionals. Tony Vitello has gone into this all season like an absolute wild man, and he has transformed this Tennessee roster. We'll know a lot more about it in a week, but Tennessee adds again tonight. Versatile infielder Finley Bates, San Diego State. Now you've got depth and you need versatility. You've got a guy who hit for a good average, who got on base, and can play multiple positions in the infield as well. Make sure you hit the like, the share, the subscribe. It is free. Hit over 4,200. Thank you guys so much for the support. Greatly appreciate that along the way. Tennessee baseball adds their 12th transfer from the portal. And of course, they have multiple, just a lot of versatility that they've added along the way. Now, again, getting into it, we're going to know a whole lot more about this team this time next week after the Major League Draft is concluded. I actually think it concludes next Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. It'll start Monday night. It'll go into Tuesday now with the 20 rounds, and normally those go pretty quick. It's not like the NBA draft where it takes half the night to do 2 rounds on it or anything, but we're going to know a lot more then. But Finley Bates comes from, again, San Diego State. He'll be a rising junior next year. In the 2 years he's played, he totaled 110 games. He played 53 in 23-24. He played 57 games this past season. Now looking at his numbers each year. His freshman year, he was 292, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, 22 walks along the way. This past season, his sophomore year, he raised the average up to 300. He had a 419 OBP, a 380 slugging down just a little, OBP up quite a bit on that, though. Pretty big difference there. He also stole 8 bases this year. He stole none as a freshman, had 5 less strikeouts this year. He had 18 more walks this year, and he had 12 more RBIs. He did have 2 less home runs this year as well. But this is just a guy, or not just, this is a guy who gets on base, makes contact. And that's something that I noticed early in this transfer portal window in Tennessee's hitters they were going after. They were going after guys with solid contact. You don't see the monster home run numbers really for any of these guys. I guess you would look at Henry Ford, if he makes the campus, would be, as far as the portal guys, the guy with the most home runs. I'm still skeptical on that one. And because here's the bottom line on it. That Major League Draft, that money, and I saw a comment today talking about, these guys, Major League teams are thinking they can get guys for less bonuses this year due to these roster limits and what these agents are putting out there. How does that affect the portal guys? We'll see. I just don't. I mean, if Henry Ford gets anywhere from a $500,000 to $1 million signing bonus, he's not going to get that in NIL money here. He's just not. They don't. I think it's probably pretty rare for college baseball guys to get that kind of money. Now, I don't know all of it on it, but that seems like big money to me for it. I just don't see he can get that at Tennessee. But what he can get is he has 2 years eligibility left. He could come in and prove his stock next year, work his way up to a first-round pick, which is a higher salary and a higher bonus because he would still have leverage. Now, though, speaking of Finley Bates, 2 years remaining, he'll come in. He can play shortstop. He can play second base. I mean, he's a versatile middle infielder. That's kind of what we're looking at with him as well. And says he was on campus this week. I guess they snuck that one in on him. In 2024, he was the Mountain West Freshman of the Year as well. And so, looking at it, it says that in the 2 years that he played 115 played 110 games is what his stats say on it. It says on here he played 55 at second base and 60 at shortstop. I'm not really sure how those numbers add up when it's saying 110. That totals 115 that it's at. But we'll go with that one on it, somewhere in that vicinity. He's basically split his time between second and shortstop. Part of the reason Tennessee was probably able to get in to San Diego State did make a coaching change on that. So again, you can't not have enough versatility, and I think there's going to be a priority on that now. First, guys who can play multiple positions. You don't need a team full of DHs. All right, it's pointless at this point with the 34-man roster. And my thinking on it is you're probably going to see probably somewhere along the lines of 18 pitchers, 16 fielders. But if you can get two-way guys, like a DJ Newman, a Blaine Brown. Newman, he is draft eligible. I don't know what his prospects are for that. Blaine Brown is not. We've got him for 2 years, which will be big there. But, the more two-way guys, and you're not going to have a team full of two-way guys, but still, if you could get, which I don't see it happening, if you get a Cruz Schoolcraft to campus, he's a big two-way guy. I'd be shocked if they do, but I guess you never say never. I'm really thinking this Tennessee high school class is going to – I'm afraid quite a few of these guys are going to go pro this year. We got lucky last year with only 4 of them going. I don't think we'll be as lucky this year, and I hope I'm wrong on that one. With just, again, what I saw today from Joe Doyle talking about agents and major league teams thinking they can get these guys for lesser bonuses due to the roster limits. Now, let's look at what Tennessee's got coming back infield-wise. Ariel Antigua, Manny Marin, now you got Finley Bates. And where does Jay Abernathy play? Where does Chris Newstrom play? Those 2 guys could play infield or outfield. Where does Levi Clark play? I think he's along the lines of first base, outfield. Blake Grimmer, where can he play? He come in listed as a shortstop. Where would he play next year? I think his bat's going to be too good to keep out of the lineup. Hunter High can play numerous positions along the way. And again, if you look at perfectgame.com and you see the freshman class coming in, I would go ahead and say not to get too used to all those names. Tyler Myatt, I forget about Tyler Myatt coming in, having a big summer for the Kingsport Axemen, JUCO Player of the Year, Triple Crown winner. But I got to think he's a draft risk. Got to think with what he's done those big numbers are big numbers with it. But if he makes it to campus, he'll be in that infield mix as well. And then your outfield, you're looking at, I think Abernathy will be in the mix. Newstrom could possibly play out there. Henry Ford, if he makes it in, he can play first base or outfield. Jackson Walker, a guy who redshirted, starting to pick it up the pace a little bit this summer in Appalachian League. He was a top 100 guy last year. Of course, you got DJ Newman, who can pitch. He can play the outfield. Garrett Wright can play the outfield. He can catch along the way. Blaine Brown, outfield DH type guy. Lots of versatility, a lot of ways can go, and a lot of good bats. And I think really the key to me, man, if you get Henry Ford on campus, that's going to be that's the big one to watch out for next week for me. If they can get him to campus, man, that's a game changer in this lineup. Something else to keep in mind with this lineup, too, that I'm liking that I'm seeing this summer in terms of lineup is Levi Clark. He's having a really good summer up in the Cape Cod League. Some other guys up in Cape Cod struggling a little bit, but that doesn't mean it translates to next year. But the 3 guys standing out to me this summer, Levi Clark, Ariel Antigua is hitting almost 600 in the Appalachian League. Yeah, that's not the Cape Cod League. That's still a good league. Make no mistake about it. The Appalachian League is a good summer league. And then pitching-wise, Tegan Coons had a great summer. 3 really good outings up there. This team, I'm telling you, like I started off, maybe the best and worst thing that happened. Best thing for Tennessee, worst thing for the rest of college baseball is that Tennessee went out in the Super Regionals. It's pretty obvious that staff was not happy with how the year went and how the year ended. So I like what they've got coming in. And I think when it's all said, the one piece left for me, pitching-wise, is Brody Purcell, USC. It said he visited, or was supposed to visit North Carolina, Florida State. I think I've seen Georgia, mentioned as well. If Tennessee can get him in, that's the final piece to the puzzle. And then you take your high school guys and work them in. Matt Barr, JUCO guy, he ain't making it in. All right, I will be shocked if he does. Now I'm seeing optimism on Clay Edmondson, the UNC Asheville pitcher. I see this every year, though. I see this every year. These guys who are draft eligible, I said it last night, and some of these riders will start. I think there's a good chance they make it in. They're not making it in if they get drafted. I'm just telling you right now, they're not. The clock is ticking, and again, you lose all leverage. I'll be wrong on some on it, but if Clay Edmondson gets drafted, he's gone. I'm just telling you on that now. I don't know it inside. I've watched enough of these for years. I know how it works inside out. I explained it thoroughly in detail last year. I can explain it now, and I'll have some content coming regarding the draft. But again, it's the same as the first baseman last year who was coming, Eric Radicek. He understood. He had flexibility, leverage. And again, you get older, they're starting to look at younger guys with it. I hope Edmondson makes it in. He would be a big pickup. I'm not getting my hopes up on it, though. I'm not getting my hopes up just because, again, when you've got that flexibility and that leverage still, once you get drafted, majority of the time teams understand if you're going to sign or not, and they won't waste a pick on you. Now, it happens. It does happen, but it's not often. It's not often with that. Keep you posted on any more news, but it's been a pretty good couple of days. Mark Hendy, Duke left-hander last night. Finley Bates, San Diego State infielder today. To my knowledge, now I know there's Ethan Conrad, the Wake Forest transfer. He's another one. He's projected to go first round. So even Tennessee were to get a commitment from him, I don't think I'll get too excited about it. Now, if he gets to campus, it would be huge. Last one that I'm watching right now that we're aware of is Brody Purcell. That would be the missing piece to the pitching staff, in my opinion. And that would give, man, a very solid staff that they can work with next year. This is Frank, House of Orange. Keep you posted on anything I see. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you when I see you.